Hello and welcome back to another one of the videos on website development. Today I'm going to be looking at the website Facebound, and I'm going to be taking you on a journey how agentic AI can take the code from a website and install it on a totally different type of website using a different form of code. And this is all going to be done on screen. So I'm going to be sharing it, but I'm also going to be pausing it because, to be honest, some of it may not be that interesting. But I'll be bringing it back to you as you can see how things evolve. So there will be things that appear, and there will be logging in and being done without logging in details, which have been pre-built within the AI. So in case you're wondering the AI system I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using Abacus. The second thing I'm going to be using is probably a 1300 credits. Now, if you're thinking AI is expensive, I will pre-tell you that the likely cost of this is going to be something in the region of $10 to actually go through this process. So cost-wise, it's not over the top. So a little bit about me. My name is John Ferris and I'm doing website training for the Cloud Workshop. And I'm looking at AI as well with Fulden and Fulden setting, and you can see some of the videos we jointly do together. So without further talk, I will move our video directly over to our share, hopefully, and see hopefully the screen evolving shortly. So there we go, there's our screen. And what I'm looking at doing is actually converting this screen, not using this is the screen on facebound.uk at the moment. This is some of the source code, which really doesn't help. But if we were to look at the source code here in app.txt, that is what we're looking at developing. So we're looking at taking content from here and we're going to be asking Abacus to set this up. Now, this will go to something called an agent very, very quickly. Any issues, I will pause the video to update and then explain what we're doing through the process. But I'm expecting it to go through to an agent to develop this particular option. So there you go. It's now prompting and it's going to GPT-5, and straight away asks us to go to the agent, which is an AI agentic agent that will be actually running the post content through for us. It's going to ask me some questions for clarification, virtually guaranteed on this, because it always does. There we go. So the first one is one, yes. And 2 dot extract. Yeah. And I would say in this case, 3, develop a fresh theme. So there we go. As I expected a few minutes ago, yeah, okay, that's fine. So there's some answers. I'm now expecting the screen to change around quite considerably as we go into the agentic side of the operation. It does take some processing, but this bit I'm actually going to show you as we go through the process, giving you a little bit of an understanding of the thought process behind this. If you ever look at AI, you're going to see the words terminal, you're going to see loads of code on the screen, you're going to see lots of additional information. And as we look through this and we wait for the process, there we go. We are now moving into the credentials, which will be changed over anyway and removed following the video. So by the time you see this, these will not exist. So these are test credentials being provided to the system to be able to log in. Um, Purpose of this really is you've got to be able to log into the sources, and then it's got to be able to look at all the rest of the content. So whilst we're waiting for it to process through, I'm just going to explain. So the React side of it, which is what bolt.new works off. Bolt.new works off the idea that you give it the website you want, the context, etc., a prompt for want of a better description, and that is then capable of actually identifying what we actually have, what we're going to be looking at, and it looks at the code. So if I now go directly into our share option, we can see it there, or we should do um, there. So for a minute there, I actually thought I was just looking at that and not all the other bits and bobs. So this now goes into the code side of things and it starts picking up on information. Now, part of the reason for showing this video is to show you how it's looking at code, padding, lines, titles, basically all the information that might be needed for a website. It already has effectively it is in the process of copying that content over to then build the necessary files as it's been instructed. Now the site itself is completely clean of content. So you've got search forms and community and everything else like that. It's all being built off the basics. As you can see, very, very fast in the way it's copying all this content down. It's now writing the theme, template, style, and support files that it will need for WordPress. You'll note the letters WP theme here, and this is part of that process of it actually writing content down, effectively developing a theme, which is quite useful, really. Why would that be useful? It does mean that from our initial page can have the index front page, which is what it's been given, what it can see. By developing pages and posts, it means that the theme will be available the moment I put a new post in or a new page in to the site. So in other words, it's developing a free theme based on the original content, the original content. So there we go. That's currently where we're going to with this. Let's just go to the content only now for a second, and you should see, we hopefully will see, there we go, the screen as it's developing. I don't need it saving. I know it's in there. We're now in WordPress itself. So what it's actually doing in WordPress is developing the theme. So it's adding a theme it's already generated. Now, for any WordPress user, this is quite useful because WordPress themes can cost money. And we actually want the theme that's already been designed. So that's quite a useful process to actually develop. And it can develop it all by itself by literally thinking through the process here. The agentic AI works out what's needed, understands what it's looking at, and then starts generating the code. This bit can be very, very impressive. This was normally undertaken by a WordPress developer. And having developed codes and stuff like that, I know the number of hours it can take. This is being done without lots and lots of thinking as well. So it's not coming to and fro. If I scroll down there whilst the page is being developed, it actually looks through and is developing. The upload form is now visible. I will attach the local forms. WordPress reports the theme installed successfully. I'll activate it now. And there you go. The theme is there. Yeah, the theme is actually there. So that's really, really encouraging. That means that the content is developing. And as you can see, we've got the sample page. So it can now take the sample page, edit it, create a new page. I've given it the full license to do this. Okay, so there we go. It's giving me a summary of the files, etc. Now, just before I go through that, what we'd like to show you the end result. But I would also like to encourage you to give us a thumbs up, like, or leave any comment as to how you're finding these videos and content. Again, my name is John Ferris. I'm going to show you now the content of what we've actually generated. So we are going to go to our page and we're going to go to the content itself. And here we have our page. And let's take you back to where we started from. This is the prompt. You're a website developer tasked with converting a React-based website to a WordPress website. So the React-based website is the bolt.new. And then we've got the http.uk web domain. That's the domain of the site. And here we have the facebound section of it. What we've asked it to do is actually develop the login and create a theme. Now the theme is the colors, layout and design. So let me explain what we have. This is the background color. This is called a hero image. This is a logo. This is our text in one color, text in another color, etc. We can click on these buttons here and go through the real sections are there. So this is all functional, different color boulders, etc., different areas of usage, which is great. So did we get a good result? Well, I think so, because here is the facebound.co.uk, and you can see here that again we've got the ability to flick through the contents being copied over. Why is that important? Because part of it is actually keeping the duplication of the content the same, keeping the design, keeping the images. We've transferred images over. They are visible within the site, and we can, should we wish to, as we can here, we can go into the website and we can see, we can transfer to mobile and see a mobile like that. And we've actually got it in a responsive format, different types of phone. My goodness, I wonder if your phone or my phone is amongst this collection. We can check out all the different formats, etc., to make sure they're all functional. Again, that is possible. We can literally pull the frame in, as you probably know. If you kick in here, you can, generally speaking, squeeze content in and then bring it out in case you weren't aware. That's a good way of testing whether something's responsive. So in summary, you've seen the two pages, one page in React again, and then the other in WordPress. WordPress uses HTML, React uses a different form of coding. AI has the capability of converting the text from that first site to the second site. And this used to be a full-time developer area, just to doing the coding, developing the theme. It was an area where a lot of money was spent. So I'm hoping, folks, this has been informative. If you want to know anything more about this, please follow and watch the videos that are being produced so we can take you more on this journey of website development. Thanks very much indeed for joining us on this particular video.